Hello, Bourbon Bay. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Made in Tampa Bay as we discuss a Ybor Treasure of the Tampa Bay Rum Company. And as Brad, the master distiller, discuss all the amazing variety of craft rum and their future products of the bourbon and hard colas and seltzers. And then we also discuss the lovely little pirate decor of the distillery. And also want to take this time to thank my sponsors, Higher Order Smokers and Loaded Cannon Distilleries, for presenting this episode. And definitely highly recommend that everyone go check them out. I will be putting the links in the description. And I hope you guys enjoy this new, amazing Made in Tampa Bay. Hey, Bourbon Bay, this is Steven, your host with Bourbon Bay Talks. And I'm here with Brad, the master distiller here at Tampa Bay Rum Company. And he's going to talk to us a little bit about Tampa Bay rum and about himself. So, Brad, take it away.
Thank you. We were established in 2015. It's a little passion project of a local chiropractor. He's based out of St. Petersburg. His name is Samuel Myers. So if you need a good chiropractor, definitely look him up. But so he started this as a inspiration from Woodinville whiskey out of Washington State. So that's his friend from, I guess, middle school, high school, something like that, opened Woodinville whiskey. And Sam would go out there and work once in a while and start to get the idea, like, oh man, owning a distillery would be pretty cool, So he wanted to do something very thematic to Tampa Bay, and that was rum. And so he incepted this idea of creating a Buccaneer bar where you can go and drink rum and it be locally produced and, good stuff. 2018 was when we started our first batch. The distiller that started up with Sam was a talented man. His name was Marvin, and he pretty much set Sam up for as much success as he could possibly have with the setup that he had. So long and short of it is that we ended up with a still from the company Corson, which is no longer in business, and that is because of over-promising and under-delivering, and they also, I think, killed a guy, so
That'll do that.
Back in June of 2019, Marvin left to go on to bigger and better things, and I took over distilling for the rum company. From there, it was a lot of discovery with the system. It got struck by lightning one day and went down, and then we had to run it fully manually for about a year and a half until it got struck by lightning again, and now it runs automatically.
So yeah, that tells you lightning doesn't strike twice, right?
Yeah. Except in this case it did.
Yes, it did.
Yeah. But that was good for me because I learned really quickly how to run this system as efficiently as possible. And from there we were able to produce better and better spirits, and every single run is better than the last. So it's kind of a dream scenario.
Yeah, that's definitely what you hope for in those situations and stuff. So,
and as big as the system is and as scary as it is, it's really forgiving because the volumes that you're working with is so great that if you cut your head a little later, it's not the end of the world. We do a very, very liberal cut when it comes to the head. We don't want any of that acetone bleeding over into the finished product, so we're very diligent about that.
So you're definitely getting rid of the head and then making sure all those, the heart basically has all those characteristics that you want, right?
Yes, correct, yeah. And you can definitely see that in the profile of the rum. It's very specific to the way that we run here and the way that we were able to develop the processes that we use now. A big part of where we are now is because of also the lockdown helped us to streamline our production because we pivoted from making rum to hand sanitizer in about 3 days. So we went full full steam ahead into hand sanitizer production, and that saved us it saved the business, it really did. So I went from doing 1 distillation a week to still doing 14 distillations a week.
That's a big jump.
Yeah. Yeah, so we would run twice a day, 7 days a week, 22 hours a day. And that was pretty unique. I had 3 other distillers working under me, and then 10 or 15 tasting room employees.
Wow.
And that was insane. That's the busiest we ever were. And so a lot of my education comes from fermentation. I started making alcohol when I was 18 years old. And then, after a decade of working in this industry, you start to really learn how fermentation works and really understand the way that what makes a good end product. And so that's what I'm constantly looking for. Brewing helped a lot as well. I started brewing in 2013, which I think is 8 years now,
Yeah.
8 years ago now. So I have a lot of experience with that, and we do have a 1-barrel brewing system in the back, a little pilot system. So we'll do different styles of beer and play around with different things, and it also allows us to do small batch bourbons as well, which is another project that we'll be working on here in the future.
So is that kind of where you see that Tampa Bay Rum Company is gonna in the future, like?
So that's more so my personal journey, I think. Sam has definitely a different vision for the distillery, and in addition to me working towards that, I also have to facilitate the acquisition of his dreams as well. So, yeah.
So just definitely quite different some projects that are kind of working towards the same goal.
Yeah, and then that's mainly getting a good craft product to the consumer and people being happy about it and having a good experience. So
now, do you know kind of like where people can go and find Gasparilla rum? And
so we're pretty small right now, so definitely coming to the distillery helps us out a lot, because not only do you get to see how we make all the stuff here, but it also allows for us to have some seasonal releases that aren't necessarily out in the general public, or available to the general public through the stores. And so we're in a few big liquor stores and some other places.
This space, which is kind of really, set up well for, in my opinion, for nice little small events. I mean, you guys kind of have like future plans for doing more events at the distillery, and especially like, we just had Halloween and things like that. So do you guys have some like future plans on that market or on front?
So you can definitely rent the space for events. Largely we do our tastings from Thursday, Friday 4 to 8, and then Saturday 12 to 6, and Sunday 12 to 4. That's our general tasting schedule right now. We do have eventual plans to increase our hours as we start to develop more product and develop more of a following, and then also the changing in laws allows us to do more cocktail stuff now. So transitioning into somewhat of a bar scenario is kind of where we're working towards. But I think that's a little bit further down the road. I mean, we still have some licensing stuff to go through, because we are planning on producing some beer here, just a couple kegs a month, different beers that we have on rotation. So we have a couple of ideas like that floating around, but nothing concrete as of yet. Working in the parameters with the time that we have is perfect. With those events, though, we do offer the space. We do have a couple of events, like there is a group that rented out the space to have a pirate pub crawl. That'll be in December sometime, and then some other people like it for holiday parties, and especially when it's cool outside, you can open up these doors. We have all the lights on, the ambiance, it's beautiful. And with other events, it's a little bit difficult. Halloween, there's a lot of competition down here in Ybor City, so it doesn't really make a lot of sense for us to do that. But we have had parties here in the past, and they're always a good time.
So guys, you hear it here first. If you want to have a good time, enjoy some amazing rum, definitely come here to Gasparilla Rum Company. give them a call first.
Oh, you don't have to. You can just show up. Yeah, actually, I prefer that. Just show up.
Okay, just show up, guys. Yeah, you hear it from Brad.
Yeah.
Just come on by, say hi. And yeah, I guess we're going to try some different rums and different products that you guys have now. So yeah, and we'll just get it going.
Sounds good. So I think, have you had our coconut and stuff before?
Yeah, I think one time, yeah, we did try it, which it was good, but we can do it again.
All right. Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
So this is our coconut rum. We use 2 different types of coconut. We use a toasted and untoasted with a little bit of bourbon vanilla at the very end. And it just rounds out all the flavors and makes it really nice. We also have a third the amount of sugar that you're going to find in our competitors at a full-on 40% alcohol by volume.
Yeah, it's really definitely got a nice little buttery note to it.
It does.
Get
It's
that
beautiful.
toasted, yeah.
That's the product of our rum specifically. Coming off the still, it has a very strong lactic note, and that's just the way that we produce here and the flavor from it. So.
And yeah, like you were saying, with it being a little less sugar, it's not like overwhelming, hitting you in the face, like something like, you know, no offense to Malibu, but you know, that's like just super
It's
sweet.
like sugar.
Yeah. But no, yeah, this is really just a very enjoyable.
So next one is our Scurvy Lime. This is our key lime pie flavor. This one has a huge following. It's really crazy. It is our best seller by far.
Well, I definitely love the name behind it too. It's because it's kind of got that little historical aspect because you know citrus was what helped keep away the scurvy. Yeah.
So this one does have a little bit of that citric acid in there, so that vitamin C, you know. You definitely.
Yeah, you definitely really taste the rum or the lime in there.
Yeah.
Almost kind of gives you that nice little fruit roll or the
Fruity Pebbles.
Yeah, Fruity Pebbles or you know.
Fruit Loops.
Yeah, Fruit Loops. Yeah, that one's an adult Fruit Loops.
Yeah, and then sticking with the fruits, I'll pour you up some of our apple spice rum. We are presently out of our pumpkin spice. We sold out, but I am probably going to be making another 50 bottles exclusively for sale on Black Friday. So
sweet.
Once it's gone, it's gone. You know? So this one is really nice. I personally like a mulled cider would go really well with this, or you could even fat wash it with some butter and make like a hot buttered apple rum with it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That'd be good for like Thanksgiving coming up.
Dude, right?
Yeah.
Or that cranberry juice and rosemary. Do like a sour
Nice.
template or something.
See, I like doing that sometimes with a lot of the different spirits is the cranberry. I think it just kind of adds a little bit.
It does. That tartness really
Yeah.
works. I think this one works well with cranberry too.
Yeah, the aged in bourbon,
Yeah.
right? This one.
Yeah, so this is our Gasparilla Reserve. It's aged in rye whiskey and bourbon maple syrup barrels. So it's separate barrels, they're not combined together, obviously. And then after it completes its aging, we finish it in a 53-gallon rye whiskey barrel. And we get those pretty much exclusively from Winterville Whiskey. The original barrels are Few Spirits out of Illinois. Oh.
So what's the next one we got lined up for?
So this is our reserve. It's aged in rye whiskey and bourbon maple syrup barrels, and then finished in rye whiskey barrels. It's going to drink a lot like a whiskey will, but it's going to be a little bit more complex. It's going to be a little bit hotter, and so this is more of a rum for whiskey drinkers. It really is.
No, yeah. I mean, it definitely has a nice like smoky note on the finish, and you definitely get caramel vanilla in there.
Yeah.
And you get that little, we'll say Florida hug now.
Yeah, Florida hug.
Yeah, a little
Another
Florida
Kentucky hug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little softer, a little bit.
Yeah, it's a nice one. Sometimes it can be a little grassy, but this one was really subdued and nice. It has that buttery note. And it's a beautiful
the buttery
spirit.
definitely in there.
So this was the one that that I won a gold medal from San Francisco, and then that we won a medal from ADI as well.
Yeah, that one's, I mean, definitely I would say if you're a big time like whiskey drinker, that is definitely a good one to try out there. And then you guys only have that right here at the distillery right now, too.
We have a little bit in distribution. I think Star Liquors has it, and
It's all
that's all I know. That's the only one I know. But yeah, we have some other experimental batches going. We have a apple brandy barrel experiment going. We have high wheat rye from Kazuba and Sons. It was their 7-year release. So I saw a post on Facebook. I saw they had barrels for I think like $100 or something, and I told Sam, the owner, and like literally the next day he bought the barrels from them.
Nice.
And so what's nice is we get those, and we'll get 30 of them, and so that's one of the projects that we're working on right now. We're working on getting those filled and ready.
So how long do you typically with the let's say like this rum and like with that, how long do you typically age those spirits?
So it definitely depends on the size of the barrel. Here in Florida, it's definitely hot and humid. We don't have as much cool as some of the more northern areas. So we lose a little bit more alcohol than water. Like if you have a dry, arid climate, you're going to lose more water than you will alcohol, which is really interesting. But being here, the aging will be a lot quicker because it's so warm. But at the same time, you're gonna lose alcohol. So it's kind of a little trade-off. We have 53 gallon and 15 gallon. The 15 gallons are gonna age really quick, and those are those once-use bourbon and rye second use maple syrup barrels. Those ones are really nice. They're like the perfect size so that you don't over extract and it be very tannic and bitter, but you're able to have a liquor come to age in like 18 months as opposed to 5 years, 3 to 5 years. So the 53s will be 3 to 5 years. The 15s, 57 liter, will be 18 months to 2 years.
Yeah, it's kind of like really interesting how like that all affects the maturation process.
It's crazy.
The heat and everything like that, just the size of the barrels. And yeah, I mean, I guess you could say that the Angels are pretty happy here in Florida.
Yeah, they are.
They get a nice little share of stuff.
Yeah, they do. They do.
And so do we have any like?
Nope, that's all of our lineup for now. Those experimentals are still a little bit out. But if you wanted to come check out,
we can definitely go
distillery
check out
portion,
that. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll take a walk.
Yeah. You got the still and
Combination column. It's a 1,200 gallon, and then we have 4 1,200 gallon fermenters.
those right there.
Yep. We make about 100 proof gallons at a time of finished spirit. So that's 100 gallons at 50% alcohol. So.
And there's the famous pot still and column stills there.
Oh yeah.
And you said that was by who? What was the company again?
Corson.
Corson?
Corson, yeah. You can actually see the name right over here. And I mean,
and this is the lovely little.
this is the spirit safe. Yeah. It should be empty now. Yeah.
And then, like, this is where you would put your heads or your...
Yep, so heads would go on this side. That's your finished ethyl alcohol, your ethanol. And your head and heart mixture would go on this side. So largely when you have like this kind of setup where we have what's known as the parrot's beak, you get yeah, this is called the parrot's beak. You get streaking in it. So
can you define what the streaking is?
yeah, so our first cut is going to go into this bucket. That's going to be like your head and foreshot mainly. And then what we'll do is once we make that first cut, we'll close off this valve. And that allows for the alcohol to collect and allows for us to have a estimated alcohol by volume measurement with just a standard hydrometer or alcohol meter, if you will. And so in closing this off, you're going to have a little bit of a combination of your heads and hearts in there, and we like to have everything be very pure, so we further separate out good from bad, and that's what the two sides of the the spirit safer for. One's for the good alcohol, one's for a continuation of the bad alcohol. So.
Yeah, so once we get it all separated and you guys get the hearts out, then you move it over into the barreling.
Yep, so from the spirit safe we'll go into our mixing tanks, which are these large cylindrical tanks. And with those we're going to take a weight measurement and an alcohol by volume measurement, and with those two values we'll calculate out how much water we have to add back to bring us down to our barreling proof, which is 110.
110?
Yeah, so 55%. And then from there we barrel it up.
Yeah, that's like, I know a lot of people are starting to kind of go back down to that. They used to do a lot of 120, but now they're starting to do lower barrel entry proofs.
Yeah.
So you think that just brings out more of the flavors and things like that?
Well, you got to think there's a combination of your alcohol and your water.
Yeah.
Water is like the universal solvent, so you get different flavors depending on how much water to alcohol you have.
I really appreciate you showing us around the Gasparilla Rum Company and basically kind of giving us a nice tour, letting us try some of the products. And guys, I highly recommend you come down, visit, say hey to Brad, and check out some of the new stuff, and and enjoy a local Tampa favorite. So thanks guys. And as always, if you're gonna have a drink with me, come. We'll cut this part. But yeah, guys, as always, Ushka Behe, and cheers. And Brad, if you want to say?
No, thank you for stopping in, and we'll see you guys next time.
Yeah, thank you guys. Enjoy. And if you have any comments, please feel free and let us know how you guys thought. And have a good one. Cheers.
I'd like to take this time and thank Brad for talking with us about Gasparilla Rum Company, and also to thank my sponsors, Higher Order Smokers and Loaded Cannon Distilleries, for presenting this lovely episode of Made in Tampa Bay. Hope you guys enjoy, and as always, cheers and Ushka Behe.